because you have a little bit of a break right there, a little bit of a flip that I need to get rid of.
Okay.
So the engine of the swing is your chest.
Right.
It's not a flip
Not
of the
your
wrist.
wrist. Right.
So you want to feel your. Now I want you to let your eyes go to me. Yes. There you go. I'm just going to swing. This is all connected right here in one piece. This angle right here doesn't change. That's in hold. So what we're focusing on is that chest. Let your sternum, your chest, right under your chin, swing to the hole. You're still keeping that head, that face. You're not letting your face rotate with the chest.
Okay.
That's better. Good.
Should I be square to the
Slightly
target?
open.
Slightly open.
Which you've already did pretty much.
I feel comfortable.
Yeah, I really liked your setup on the chip shots. Hold it. Beautiful. Good. Again. And that's what I like. You absorb the feeling of it. The sensory information is more important to you than the visual information. That's why you're holding the finish, so you can absorb the feeling. Absorb that feeling.
Okay, that now I didn't. My head didn't go with it.
The shape of it's what I'm working on first. Oh yeah, and you took your hands up higher. Do one practice swing, not necessarily a longer swing, but maybe just a little sharper right through here.
You guys gonna take a rest or you're...
Same shape and form, just a little more aggressive through the ball.
Oh, look at how high that one was. That's nice.
Yes, and you feel just an ounce more power there, didn't you?
Yep.
So it's just you're simplifying the technique. It's really not complicated. It's when you lock in all these parts and swing as a one-piece unit. Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, good. Good.
Let's just keep doing it. That's it. So we want quiet hands. We don't want active hands.
Oh yeah, much more loft.
Which means you can add more speed.
Yes, yes.
Which then means you're adding more spin. So you get more stopping power, both from trajectory and spin, when you have more loft. Because you have to have more speed to carry the same distance. Your landing target's the same place. So have a little bit more speed. Oh, that was so sweet.
Nice. Yeah.
And I think a 60-56 is a good combination for you.
Okay.
Now, but here's what we're going to do on these next few. With that pretty much the same swing and the same force, you can actually hit the ball higher if you make one additional add-on piece to the swing. Right now, you're coming back with fairly stable wrist action. It's mostly almost like a big putting swing in terms. It's an arm swing basically, and you're letting the loft of the club determine the height of it. I want you to have just a little mini hinge in your wrist. So you're going to hinge it just a little bit,
Because I noticed the
and
pros hinge.
it's called a hinge and hold. So you're going to add a little hinge and then chop and hold. So you're going to hinge in the backswing, but you're not going to rehinge.
Okay.
You're not going to rehinge on the other side. It's called hinge and hold. You're going to hinge. To me, it's almost like I'm trying to point the butt into the handle down at the ground. Hinge, hinge, and hold. So you're still going to hold pretty much in the same positions you did with the other one. So rehearse it first. Always rehearse it first. Yeah. Hinge and hold.
Oh yeah, look at that height. That is nice. Oh man.
Shelly, I really like how long you hold your finish after the swing. That's very good. Your weight is solidly on your left side. You're standing tall on that left leg. The knee is extended. We worked on this a little bit on the driver, so you were doing this with the iron before we started talking about this good finish. Finishing solid, finishing tall on that left side. You can see how your back foot is on the toe. So that is a great finishing position and finishing pose. You want to keep that going, and you want to also have it with the driver.
All right, before you even hit this one.
The first thing we talked about was your pre-swing setup. You were setting your feet before you set your hands on the club, before you grip the club.
There is a sequence called hand club feet, and you did club feet hands.
Okay.
The pros will do it. They'll get their grip first, hands, and you'll see them step into the ball and set the club
Right.
before the feet, and then they'll get comfortable to the club.
Okay.
Now, when they're setting the club, they're actually aiming the face where they want the ball to start. How they determine where they want the ball to start is from back here.
And looking at the hole.
So let's say that you're going to play it's either going to go straight or it's going to have a fade.
Right.
So let's say you want to play just inside the tall tree,
Inside the cypress.
inside that cypress. If you hit it dead straight, you're in the fairway on the left-hand side. But you also have a full width of the fairway to drift to the right end. Draw an imaginary line from that spot down to your golf ball and find something in front of your ball that's on that line.
Okay. So
It's called the intermediate target.
They're like bowling now. I got
Right,
my
you're spot bowling.
Spot bowling.
So you're going to spot drive.
Okay. So that divot would be perfect.
So I want this ball to pass over that spot.
That divot, yeah.
Therefore, this face has to be aiming at that spot, just as if I was trying to putt the ball to that spot.
Gotcha.
So I want to make sure my club face is set on the ground before I set my feet. And you do that, you don't do it from the thing that you were doing, the error that you were really making is you were doing this while standing erect. You want to get it into your standard natural golf tilt when you do that, and I'm aiming the face now at that divot.
Cypress.
And then I'm going to shuffle
Your feet together.
my feet and get comfortable in everything else. But the club first, I want my feet to get comfortable to the correct club. I don't want. What a lot of players will do is they'll lock their feet down, and then they'll adjust their club to the spot.
Right.
That means on one swing they may have their hands here, on the next swing they may have their hands here. They never have a repetitive setup. Now, just if you feel like you're comfortable,
I feel pretty comfortable.
okay, let's just go.
Now
We're going to trust comfort right now. We're not going to try to change that.
That was perfect.
All right, let's go to the house.
I'm done. No, I ain't gonna.
That one just went under.
Where'd it go?
It popped up.
Oh.
Now, as a general rule, a pop-up means that you put the low point exactly where the ball was, which you don't want.
Okay.
You want the low point to be behind the golf ball so that you can swing up into the golf ball.
In this clip, you're going to see that last swing. I have a blue arrow identifying the location of the golf ball. And I want you to watch inside the red circle, and you're going to see you hit the ground after the ball. Right there, you can see the dirt in that use. So that means you swung down into the golf ball and you hit the ground with your driver swing. The yellow line represents the lowest point of any golf swing. And with the driver, you want the lowest point to hover above the ground and swish above the ground and never hit the ground. And you want to position that low point with the driver behind the golf ball so that you can swing up into the golf ball to get more distance. The red arrow is the downward part of the arc before it reaches the low point, and the blue arrow is the upward part of the swing arc after it reaches the low point. With the driver, you want to hit the ball somewhere on the blue arrow. With the driver, you want to hit up into the golf ball. Now, the geometry that you want with the driver is different than with an iron. With the driver, you want the low point of the swing behind the ball. With an iron, you want the low point of the swing in front of the ball. With the driver, you want to hit up on the ball 2 or 3 degrees, somewhere on the blue arrow. With an iron, you want to hit down on the ball 2 or 3 degrees, somewhere on the red arrow. With the driver, your swing should never hit the ground. And with an iron, you should always take a small divot in front of the ball.
That's what I'm trying to do. These seeds. Well, that was good. It just started off a little bit right. Yeah, that's much better. A little bit of fade.
That was more of a block than a cut. That basically went straight right. It didn't start to curve that much. So that was more just the face wasn't squared up as well.
Shelly, you went through a pattern where a lot of balls were starting too far to the right. Your club face was open at impact. You can see how the blue circles are following the ball. This is just one of the swings here, but you can see how that ball just goes straight right of that alignment stick.
I want to work just on this backswing. I don't want your mind thinking about two things right now. I need to get that backswing a lot flatter. And that last one was good.
A little bit.
And right now, we may have some variations of ball flight.
Right. 'Cause I'm not.
As long as none of those variations are the slice.
Right.
Then we know we're kind of in the right ballpark of what to work on. It's a swing plane issue. We're redesigning your swing plane to get rid of the slice. There may be other tweaks I have to make. But let's keep working on their backswing is more inside. Just a little baby fade.
Yeah, that's pretty. I can take that every day.
Right. Very nice. Very nice. Let's just keep working on that turning. The backswing's you're gonna start your backswing with your right hip.
We worked on several things to improve your swing plane. You were a little bit too upright with your swing plane. And we first started working on just the early turn of the hips and feel like you're taking the club to the inside. And then we worked a little bit more on your setup. I had you stand a little further away so that you had to tilt over more and reach just a little bit more with the driver. On the left was before we made any changes, and on the right was after I had you stand just a little bit further away, reach a little bit more, tilt a little bit more. And I particularly want to talk about the tilt. I drew a blue arrow right up the center of the black stripe on your jacket to show the spine angle tilt. You had a 7 degrees spine angle tilt on the left, which is pretty upright, and you had tilted and changed that about 13 degrees to about a 57 degree tilt, which is much closer to what the pros are doing. On the right is Grant Waite, who has about 10 degrees more tilt in his spine than you do before we made any changes. This is Tiger with 16 or 7 degrees more spine tilt than you do. Here's Roy McIlroy, 58 degrees, which is about 11 degrees more tilt than you do. So on average, the average pro will have a spine angle tilt somewhere between 55 and 60 degrees. And before, your spine angle was about 10 degrees more than that. When you set up with that correct tilt, it puts your swing plane at right angles to your spine angle. And you can see on the right how your club swing, I've got you now taking the club back in both pictures, but you can see how you're just rotating naturally around your spine angle at right angles. On the left is your swing when your spine angle was too upright. And you can see how you will drop a little bit on the downswing, and then you will quickly lift up fast and hard and stand almost perfectly straight through this ball. This creates a very unstable golf circle and will cause a lot of inconsistencies. Now watch how Grant Waite keeps his head in the circle and his spine angle locked down. His golf circle is very stable.
An aggressive athletic setup.
How's
One of your best drives today.
How's that?
That's beautiful. That's what that is.
Okay, That's good, because that makes me, once I incorporate that with that
Yeah,
flat
it's important. If we can
hip
get the right,
turn.
if we can get the geometry better at the address, you don't have to think so much about how to make yourself move because your setup almost created the move. You can only move in the container that you build. You're building the correct container. Here, you were building the wrong container and trying to swing correctly inside it. You were just standing too tall and didn't have enough flatness in your reach. Now, this is what I'm changing is only the driver. Okay, not an 8-iron.
Oh, wow.
That's a high draw.
Whoa,
That's the future. We're not there yet,
Yeah,
but we've got a
that's
glimpse
nice.
of it.
That was good. Right on line, a tiny draw. Oh, slice, but which perfect spot. It's no
Right, that was a pull cut. I don't mind the ball cutting if it started more left, but we don't want it starting right and cutting. That's a killer. Very nice. Very nice. High cut, small baby cut.
That's perfect. How about that for straight?
And that is a bullet. That's the key. That's what you, once you start flinching that way without having to think about it, that's when you're really going to have some good swings.
That's a stinger.
That'll go though, man. That'll go.
How about three of
Oh
them?
man, that was beautiful.
Arm in.
That's
and
right.
Flattening my swing a little bit. I think I'm getting.
Wow, Shelly, you're just starting to groove
Yeah,
now.
I'm starting to get a little bit. Yeah, I can feel that.
Very nice. Switch on the perch just above the ground. The drivers would never touch the ground. There. Hearing that sound. Yeah. Okay, one more. Last
more.
one. Good or bad? Last one. Take your time. Beautiful shot. Woo! That may be the best you've hit today.